I think we had a little hiccup here real quick. We just are going now live with Facebook, with YouTube, but I'm going to catch us all back up on where we're at. I'm giving a little description about my background. Again, I said I was in the pharmaceutical industry where my passion was to make people more healthy. And as I was in that industry, my job was to actually sign up healthcare companies to their drug program through my company. And we would mail them the prescriptions on a regular basis, which was a great business. And of course, it helped out a lot of people. There's nothing against pharmaceuticals. It was wonderful. However, in that process, I learned from so many people because I put on these huge events where hundreds of people would come in to learn from the companies, to learn about how they can get their pharmaceuticals, and they learned all about their health benefit packages. And in those meetings, I would have people stand up and say, hey, I want to tell everybody here how I was able to get off of pharmaceuticals. And at that time, I was all like, why are they saying that? And the consistent statement from all these people was, I ate more healthy, I exercised, and I drank more water. I got to stress that to you. I would go into meeting after meeting after meeting, and people, out of hundreds of people, there would be multiple people who'd stand up and want to share their story, how they got off of pharmaceuticals. And at that time, I was like all aggravated. But as I started really listening, when I was open to listening to these people, I found myself going, wow, this is crazy. These people have found a natural way to get off of their pharmaceutical drugs and how to become more healthy. And so our doctors have been, they go to colleges that are funded by the pharmaceutical companies. So they're basically taught, okay, here, what is the condition? Ask them, the client, or the patient, what the condition is, and then prescribe a drug or prescribe surgery, right? I mean, they have not, maybe more recently, they're being taught to ask more questions. And I know doctors, since they've seen the health practitioner field get gigantic, because there's so more people migrating from traditional medicine to natural practitioners, that now doctors are starting to get a little bit more involved. My personal experience was I had tremendous heartburn. And as I went to my doctor, he said, here's Prilosec, take it for the rest of your life. That's an inflamed esophagus. So it's like, wait a second, doc, I don't want to do that. I want to know what's causing it. And he said, well, don't worry about it. You're just going to have to be on this the rest of your life. As I did research myself, I found out, wait a second, I'm drinking a lot of soda pop, a lot of Coca-Cola. And I'm having a 32-ounce Coke every morning. Guess what? I'm having heartburn all day. Well, I read about some health practitioner online. She had said, hey, that can cause, soda pop, all that carbonation, and Coca-Cola. Look what it does to a bicycle chain. You guys have all seen that video. It's crazy. It unloosens rust and all that. So I'm like, okay, let me try to remove that. It was very hard because I was addicted to it. As I moved to water, guess what? My heartburn went away. So I started seeing what a lot of these people were telling me in these meetings. And as I learned that, I started realizing that actually, in the pharmaceutical world, I was nothing more than a cog in a wheel, prescribing or dispensing the prescription drugs, selling them, and I was making money on it. But was I really making people healthy? Without question, there was a lot of people we did. However, it didn't resonate with me anymore. And so fortunately for me, this opportunity came up. I grew up with a family that started this business, and they wanted to retire out. So I was able to help them retire out. And then I was able to purchase Angel Water. In this process, I have met just tons and tons of people who have literally changed their lives from drinking healthy, clean water. And the number one point I want to make about it is the reality is, even if you don't drink filtered water, drinking half your weight in ounces of water per day, it seems to be the linchpin. It seems to be the common denominator. It seems to be the most important thing, is taking a bottle like this, 40 ounces, right? This is my bottle. It's a little beat up, you can see. And I know that weighing 180 pounds, I have to basically drink a little over 2 of these, right? Half my weight in ounces a day. If I'm 180 pounds, that's 90 ounces. This is 40 ounces. Keep it simple for yourself. Say, I'm going to want to sit there and drink have, one of these by the time it's 12 o'clock and another before I go to bed. And yes, you will go to the bathroom more often. However, I promise you, you will find some amazing benefits from drinking this water, and you'll notice it somewhat soon. What I noticed within a couple of days when I did switch to this, or if I fall off and I don't drink water, then I get back on, I find myself really getting some of the benefits, which I've listed here. I'm going to start out though with first, you can see it's better for your hair, better for your skin, and better for your nails. The people that call me and talk to me after they get going on this is just insane. They just like, oh my God, my hair is now, not me, you can see I'm losing my hair, but most people get really thick, wonderful, long hair. Your hair follicle is alive. I mean, it's like, you got to remember, if you are dehydrated, it gets dried out. I mean, it's logical, right? I mean, dry, brittle hair, being dehydrated. So if you hydrate yourself, your hair becomes much more full, much more manageable. You don't get the dry, brittle ends. Your skin, oh my gosh, the skin, how right now, if we're all washing our hands as much as we do, or does your hands dry out? You darn right it does. I mean, you need to wash your hands constantly during this coronavirus issue, and probably moving forward for the rest of your life. I think that everyone who's lived through this now have a pivotal change, and we're all going to live differently. So if you're going to be living differently and washing your hands on a regular basis, last thing you want to do is use tons and tons of liquids, lotions. Well, remember, hydrate your body. You hydrate your body, and you'll find that your skin is much more not as dry as it normally is. Better brain function. This is the one common theme that people would tell me. I would have people that were on major medications for chronic migraines, and they would sit there and stand up and talk about how they were able to eliminate their headaches on a regular basis based on the fact that they just simply drank more water. I mean, that was it. That was their key. Now, some people stood up and they said their migraines drastically diminished. So they did still have to be on pharmaceuticals, but they literally found themselves going from not being able to even function to being able to function and take pharmaceuticals to be able to live a better life. And so these are people that are just absolutely, couldn't even move, couldn't even get out of bed, that they then found themselves being able to live a little bit better life. And so these are the type of things that I want to try to share with each and every one of you, because these little lessons are worth your knowledge. And when we look at the fact that we are water, I mean, be realistic. I mean, you are water. I mean, it sounds weird because we have, the skin and we have all these organs, but think about it. You're 60% water. Your brain is 90% water. And if your body is that much water, then boy, it really does speak to something about the fact that you should really focus on water. Focus on the water you put in your body. Focus on that. It shouldn't be accompanied with alcohol, or it shouldn't be accompanied with soda pop, or it shouldn't be accompanied with sugars, or you shouldn't get it just because you don't like the taste of water. I mean, there are some really wonderful things you can do. Add lemon to water. Add, every morning I add a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. In fact, I listened to this one health practitioner, and they strongly recommended taking just a glass of water first thing in the morning to wake up the body. I mean, if your body is water, glass of water with a little apple cider vinegar starts out the day on a perfect note. You can start with warm water. That's a way of just sort of warming up your body, warming up your organs that you have So it goes back to one of the biggest organs you have is obviously your brain. And if your brain is 90% water and you are dehydrated, think about it. It's not going to work very well. Maybe you're going to get depressed. Maybe you're going to be sad. Maybe you're going to be, not be able to retain information. Maybe you're not going to be able to regurgitate the information you have learned. So, better brain function is a huge, huge, important factor for this. And so that's why I would strongly recommend, all of us thinking about that on a regular basis. Now, it talks, the third one there is brain function. Brain and spinal cord protection. Your brain is basically the size of your two fists, right? It sits inside of our head. I got a pretty big head, so you can imagine it's right in there. And now that brain has to sit like on a shock absorber. The shock absorber is the water. Dehydration, think about what that's going to do to that poor brain. I mean, this is your life. This is your brain does everything for you, and you need to protect it. So drinking the right amount of water helps insulate that brain. It helps insulate your spinal cord, which by the way, it carries neurotransmitters up and down your body. You know, you have to remember these are things that you might have learned in science class or when you were in school. So again, a great benefit of drinking water is to be able to protect your spinal cord and your brain. Moving over here, better blood flow. Think about it. Your blood is made up of water, right? So without the right hydration, then the blood sort of clogs up. You have high blood pressure. They talk about, you know, you should be drinking more water, but the doctors don't even define for you half your weight in ounces a day. I mean, some say, you should drink 8 glasses of water, they used to say, but I mean, doctors really never got up and talked about the importance of flushing the body, getting it out, putting that blood that's carrying all these nutrients from your brain down to your body, and it's also taking away the waste, but you want all these nutrients to get up here, to get down to your lungs, to get up into all your organs. I mean, you want that blood to be carrying all the nutrients that you would consume from the food you ate. These are critical things for you to consider as you are looking to hydrate your body. Better for your kidneys. I mean, people used to come in all the time and say, "Oh, I had a kidney, I have kidney stones." It's like, well, the number one thing doctors say is that maybe it's because you didn't drink enough water, because the more salt build up inside of your kidneys creates a kidney stone. So it's so important that the kidneys get a regular flushing. I mean, this is like your car. I mean, if we had an analogy and you didn't get your oil change on a regular basis, I mean, your car is going to give up on you, right? I mean, but in a car, you got to do it every 3,000 miles. With your body, you got to do it every day, every single day. Think of that. Every day you need to hydrate your body and do something for your vehicle in order to take care of it. Now, better mood, less stress. That's another benefit. I mean, I had people that would, get up and say, I have been on, and this is, the number one drug back in the 90s was Prozac. I mean, it came out, and they also got the ability to advertise. So they put advertisements everywhere. Prozac, make yourself happy. Prozac, make yourself happy. And they didn't talk about all the side benefits, but they just were like, this will make you happy. And it's like, so people just took that ad, they ran into their doctors and said, I want this. So, an MD, what is he to do? He's not a psychologist. He's not a psychiatrist. I mean, so he just prescribed the drug and handed it out to the person, and because they came in demanding it. Now, ask yourself, does that make a lot of sense? I mean, what about other alternatives? What's the root cause of it? And as I sat in these meetings, and our number one drug being used was Prozac, and I'd have people talking about it all the time. And then I had people stand up and say, hey, I no longer am depressed, and I did it naturally. And the number one thing that they said to get rid of Prozac and to get more happy was to hydrate the body. Now, the one thing that I can say is that I did learn that there's 2 hemispheres, and there's a synapse that connects the 2 hemispheres. And you think about it, it's sort of like a straw that goes between the 2 hemispheres. So that straw, and someone tried to explain to me once that it was sort of like a dried out straw. The neurotransmitters don't want to go back and forth. The healthier the straw, the better the neurotransmitters can go back and forth, the happier someone can be. So all these things sort of made a lot of sense to me. And as I sat there listening to people that were buying less antidepressants, but yet getting more happy by simply drinking more water, I was like, wow, that's where I want to be. So that's part of what drove me to come here to Angel Water, and part of what drives me to have these meetings and have these live presentations with you, or have people come in when we can have them in, to have coffee and donuts, and we can discuss this, is because these are some of the wonderful benefits that people have from drinking more water. At least drink more water. The last thing that I want to highlight, and that's because this is going to relate to why I would strongly recommend that you get filtered water is because I want you guys to all understand the body is taking that water and it's running through your body. Now imagine you're eating food that has pesticides and herbicides, right? Oh, we eat it. It goes into our body. Our body is a filter. It literally is grabbing at everything we consume. Now, how is not going to, if you grab an apple with pesticides on it, how is it not grabbing the pesticide and then make that part of your body, bring that into your organ? Think about it. It's pretty logical, right? So now that's in your body. Imagine that's in your, I don't know, your kidney, right? So it's in your kidney now. And how does it get it out? How does your body get it out? It's not magic. Your body has to do something. So what does it lean on? It's going to lean on good, clean water. Now, water with pharmaceutical, with drugs or chemicals or pesticides or herbicides on it going through your body, how is that going to pick that up? Remember, a water droplet is like, it's a party bus. Everyone wants to jump on board. It literally is almost like a magnet. When water travels through plumbing pipes, it takes on the characteristics of the plumbing pipes. Hence what you've seen in Michigan, right? Lead can leach into water and comes onto that water droplet. Then we drink it and it causes all those problems. Water is a party bus and everything wants to go on it. So prior to going into your body, my argument or my suggestion to each and every one of you is to clean your water. Simply clean your water. When this water droplet is clean and it goes through the body, that's when it has the opportunity to help pull out the pesticide, the herbicide, the different things that your body might have ingested. Heck, maybe you inhaled some bad pollution. Maybe there's some sort of pollution inside your body that this is coming out. I don't really know. I mean, that's just a theory. But the reality is I do know that the cleaner the water, the better off you are. So whether you're, on the East Coast, the West Coast, wherever you're watching this, we've been a lot of benefits for people from Florida and Arizona. Some of you have watched online, so thank you for watching. Wherever you are, Houston, Texas, I know we've had a couple of shout outs from Houston, Texas. Thank you. The reality is wherever you are, consider drinking more water. Drink half your weight in ounces a day. Then consider filtering that water. Filter it with a cert.org. That's the environmentalworkinggroup.org. From there, you can look at National Water Database. It's a pretty simple button, page. This is a not-for-profit. And what they've done on your behalf is they've gone out and grabbed from using the Freedom of Information Act. They started this back in 1998 with the New York Times. The first article that they did was called Toxic Waters, meaning your water may be legal, but is it safe? That's what their question was. Because the reason why they did that is because we all get a water report when we get water from a city, and we look at it, and we're like, oh, I don't know what that means. I mean, you have to have like a professor degree to be able to understand what they're saying on your water report, and it still doesn't make a lot of sense. All they're saying is, it meets the 1972 standards that the EPA set. Now, they made a couple little adjustments to it, but basically it's old. I mean, hexavalent chromium-6 is not even changed. I mean, they've known this for years and they haven't made a change. The reason why, even though that whole movie, Aaron Brockovich story came out, they haven't altered that status of hexavalent chromium-6 from 1972. In 1972, they said, if you drink it, your body converts it to hexavalent chromium-3 and it's healthy for your body. No, that's not so true. So now they know, we all know, thanks to that movie, that's not true. So we all know we want that out of the water, yet it's still in our Chicago water. It's still in New York water. It's still in major municipality water. Heck, it's even in some small cities water. So I really want you to know that, to my personal opinion, and what I lobby you to think about, is filtering your water for some of those contaminants. Consider yourself, why would I want to ingest something with hexavalent chromium-6 in it? I mean, even though the EPA says it's still okay, California and the EWG report says it's not okay. So EWG said not only is it that one contaminant, but let's look at all of them. And they've said, here's our new standard. California has a higher standard. Even New Jersey now has been making more standards. States around the country are saying these old standards are too old, so they're upgraded. So I lobby to you to consider go to the EWG website, look to see what contaminants are found in your water. They actually list what they all are. Using the Freedom of Information Act, they now know what they are, what's in your water. That's what you want to know. What is it? So then you can look at that list and go, oh, I want to take that one out. I want, when we meet with clients, we go, okay, this is what's in your water. Which do you want in? And they all say, I don't want any in, hello. And it's like, they go, really? I have all those in there? There's 10, 12 different chemicals in the water. So people are like, I don't know if I really want that. And you're like, sure, well, we can get that out with a product that is NSF certified for that contaminant. It's important that you understand that, because there are a lot of filters on the market that makes you feel like, oh, my water's better, but it's a carbon filter, just takes chlorine out, maybe a couple other contaminants. You want to make sure that the product you buy is NSF certified for taking out the contaminant that's in your water. If you need help with that, contact us. The reason why people choose Angel Water in Chicagoland, I believe, is that we do that basic education. We teach you what's in your water. We then pair that up with products that are certified to take it out. Today, most of the very good ones are made in America. We sell them all. We at Angel Water, we sell everything, the cheap stuff you can get online, or we sell the more expensive stuff that has these NSF certs that are made in America. So we have that. So that's some of the benefits of coming to Angel Water. Even if you live in Houston, if you guys live in Florida, which I've seen a few people log on from, please give us a call. We'll help point you in the right direction. We'd be happy to help you out so that you can figure out what local company, can help you out, because our passion is really to make you more healthy, and I think that if we spend our time looking out for the next guy, you end up getting something in return, right? The secret to living is giving. So if we can give to you, whether you're in Houston, whether you're in California, whether you're in New York, if I can give to you a little bit, if our company can give to you and give you a little guidance to help you find someone locally, we'd be happy to do that. We'll help remind you the points that you need to have. So as a summary, please consider drinking half your weight in ounces. Please consider, if you're going to hydrate your body, clean your water droplets. Clean them before you consume them. Clean them before you consume them. And I believe that it will pull the contaminants that are inside your body out and help you get rid of it and put it down the drain. So again, I'm Drew. You can always reach us at 847-382-7800, or you can find us online at angelwater.com. And I hope you all enjoyed today's presentation.